Doesn't look like there's any healers so far.
They kind of messed up
Not,
the comp in a sense. If they were trying to go for the 1-for-1, we're kind of forgetting the last one. And there it is.
yeah,
Okay,
there
Kingdom
we go.
Heart
We
does
got
switch
another one.
over. But
Okay.
this means because they took so long to pick their comp, they're not going to be first to the point. But it doesn't matter when the Wrecking Ball is so dang fast to get right back in there with Jub Jub on the back line and the tank. But that Torp turret actually coming out from the side of Graceland, actually like holding the low ground. Or well played on McCree, actually. Normally a tank player, but the 1-for-1, letting them experiment with some new heroes, it looks like. Thor getting pretty low, just rolling around as Hammond does, finally going down.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, this actually is a good comp against goats, as it's, quad DPS is very hard to deal with when you're just playing supports and healers. You don't really have the concentrated firepower to take one person down. So this actually
no, the
is a
huge
legit
pile
comp.
driver into the minefield. So much damage coming down from Dowling, taking that support role and just getting rid of it with this Hammond pick. Nice damage.
So, they're not really presented with much. Torbjorn does pick off Kingdom Heart, though, so their one healer is down. So it could be an opportunity for Graceland to try and take point here.
Oh, Lucio kind of overextends. Blazing going to punish that instantly. There he is with his Dragon Strike available. Just peppering that shield. Thor tries to get the hook on him, but not going to get it this time by. Jussie on the Sombra just lurking in the background. And the snipe actually coming out from GU Esports. That's actually going to throw me off a little bit. Hang on, Nano Blade coming in, slicing the tank up. Thor is probably next on the chopping block. Can he find another? Not in time for the Dragon Blade, but he is going to chase down the Moira. Getting kind of low, actually, though. Switch, taking him down. Nicely done.
So they are down there, Genji. But with so much DPS in this composition, it's tough to break a point. It's because you're just constantly being harassed by flankers and upfront damage dealers, and there's just so much around this comp to play with that you can take advantage of.
And then the EMP pile driver is what we see to initiate that fight. But all that ult unfortunately gets shut right down. No Kamehameha for you.
So they did get a few picks, so this is an opportunity for Graceland to try and take point. See if they can push up far enough that they'll be able to take it.
That Ryan kind of getting low, though. And then, sure enough, Jub Jub going to finish him off. 2 seconds left on the clock. There it is. Saints able to keep Graceland away from that point for the entirety of that first round.
So there wasn't much of a resistance put up by Graceland. Unfortunately, they weren't able to take advantage of the picks they did get, as quad DPS was able to simply outplay them. And the mechanics were very well coordinated and very well shown off by the Saints.
What do you mean, dog? They ran Tor. It's only fair.
So the 1-for-1 coming out once again from the side of Saints. Jub bringing out the Torb, it looks like. Jussie on the Widowmaker. And Kingdom Heart getting rid of that support role to put on the Doomfist. And then Dowling still leading the charge with the Wrecking Ball. Flings himself in there right onto the point, knocking both the tanks up, making that hook miss there from Thor. But nobody goes down, just a little bit of poke damage here and there. Blazin and Jussie both playing snipers here. And there's actually a Bastion coming out from GU3.
Yeah, so they're going to try and stick Bastion in the corner here. See if you can keep him alive in the corner. He can kind of hold point by himself. Unfortunately, his tank was eliminated rather quickly, and therefore he has no protection, and he will simply just pass on to the next life. Or,
Yeah, that mess just started up with Orisa walking out of her bunker, getting taken out, not being able to refresh the barrier, and then Bastion goes down. Jussie, we didn't see nothing. It feels bad,
It's
man.
okay, Jussie. We didn't see
It's okay.
it. We didn't see it.
Everybody messes up every once in a while. Well played, trying his damnedest to try and keep everybody alive, but with them all charging forward, it's like a healer's nightmare trying to keep up.
Yeah. So
But
you can hold this
it is
choke
looking
point. It's very, very hard for the for Graceland to make it past this, because everyone is trying to go through one point, and not a lot of people will use the sides to get around. They'll try and use this choke.
Oh my god, the Nano Torb. I don't think that was intentional, but he's going in with the hammer and the shotgun. So much damage from Jub Jub, but he is going to get shut down by Switch. And it looks like GU Esports finally taking care of the Saints squad with that massive overextension.
So they were able to actually get a hammer kill. So I have to say, I haven't seen very many of those in my time as an Overwatch player. Graceland is able to eliminate all of them, though, and try and see if they can take point here.
And Dowling with the minefield right into the bunker. Switch is going to go down rather quickly. Orisa trying to pin down Dowling does in fact do so, but the rest of the snipers are finally coming down onto the point, picking them off between Blazin and Justy's job. Nicely done. Alts
Yeah,
are
so
available.
unfortunately, they weren't able to take advantage of the push and picks that they got.
Oh god, let's not spaz anybody out. But that Molten Core actually goes right into the choke point, so it just looked like he was flailing himself around, but it was to get the molten lava all over the corridor. And this is going to be enough to keep GU off of the point, giving Saints the quick 2-0 in the first game.
Played by St. Clair. Good. Very well played by St. Clair, using their strength of their 4 DPS and showing they have versatility and that anyone can play any role, and that it doesn't matter what you're using. Apparently anything can be used to take down people in this game, even a Torb hammer. So it's one map to 0 for the side of the Saints, and there's one more game remaining. And I gotta say, Wrecking Ball and Dowling look pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I mean, they're trying out the 1-for-1, so this isn't something that they've exactly quite rehearsed, as this is rather new into the meta. Like, I've only really heard about it for like maybe the last week and a half or so. And it's a scary comp because it's an overcommittal comp. If the other team knows what they're doing,
they can't take advantage of you, but
they can instantly do that. Yeah.
It is mostly used against goats because there's so much damage going around that you can't concentrate on one person, because you got flankers, you got upfront damage, you got damage coming in from the sides as well. So it's very hard to keep everyone together, because if you're together, that's where they do the most damage.
Right.
So you're kind of forcing the spread apart, but as a goats comp, if you get spread apart, that's kind of how you lose. Right. So it's good that they can practice this for the upcoming playoffs, and that they can, see, a lot of people are going to be running goats. See if we can do something to counter it and something to take advantage of that. And it's good that they can practice against teams like this.
Like just the fact that they're like ready to put that strategy into an actual match is always kind of nerve-wracking. But it looks like they're doing so far so good. Granted, the GU Esports crew that time, I think they meant basically just 2-2-2. I think one pretty like solo queue standard, I guess you'd call it. Which, by all means, like, there's a reason why they do it in solo queue, because it is a fine strat.
Yeah, for sure. It's just the mechanics of St. Clair are a little bit better than the mechanics of GU Esports.
By taking a look at that first game, probably, but you never know. We still have the possibility of another 2 games from GU.
You never know.
Let's see what the next map selection is. They are chatting, but you won't see it in the bottom.
So the arrogance of St. Clair might take the best of them. So we'll see if they do pull out another more cheese comp rather than a...
Is it cheese if it's meta?
I don't know if it's cheese if it's meta, but it's still kind of cheese. But
I wouldn't call that cheese. If they were coming out with like... I don't want to say it because I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to eat my shoe. But like, if they have like multiple turret team or something like that, where it's obvious that they are just getting cocky, then I'd hope that they just get them shoved in.
That's your opinion. You don't like cocky players.
I mean, I don't mind confidence. I don't like cockiness. Like, I was extremely happy to see GU when they pushed all the way to the spawn. They shut that down.
Yeah.
They did not let that get any further than that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can't feel yourself if, like, depending, like, regardless of what the skill of the school or the team is, You try and do that versus like somebody stronger, they're gonna make you
Yeah.
like
Well, it's
they're
definitely
gonna punish
something.
you for it.
It's definitely something you have to think about. Is like, yes, you play these games today where they might seem easier than some other games that you might be playing, but you have to think like this is kind of it's the last game of the regular season, and anything that comes up, they're gonna have a challenge with.
Oh, for sure.
So this is it's kind of a little break, nice little break, but you can mentally prepare yourself for the next games coming up. So it's kind of a precursor.
Yeah, and in
for-
my opinion, no game is a break. Regardless
enough.
if you looked up the stats before the game, you checked out their solo queue records or whatever, like watched VODs of the team, no team is a break. You sleep on Graceland or you sleep on any of the the startup teams that we had to play earlier in the season, you sleep on them, they will punish you.
For sure.
And like as a growing team, a growing varsity squad, those are mistakes that you can't afford to be making.
Yeah, for sure. We do see the Torbjorn again on this one.
This actually does make sense though. Putting it up on the what is it, the restaurant or the gas station
hold
here.
it. So you got two supports, Torbjorn and Widow, and I believe a Sombra as well. So just in
Yeah,
case there's
just
any
a
shield,
Sombra.
she can hack the shield, and Torbjorn turret will do a lot of damage.
Oh,
So,
Kingdom Heart taking a shot with the Widowmaker at the start of this game. Oh, Lucio's getting right in her face. Completely fearless, but Blazon's going to take him down rather quickly. Jussie in the back line finds the Zenyatta, but then forced to translocate away. The rest of the Saint squad just holding the top of the restaurant and just essentially doing work from there. Blazon takes down Thor.
This is definitely a strong spot as defenders, is up on top of that gas station. It's kind of your first line of defense, and it's somewhere where the attackers have to take the corner in order to see you. So you have the advantage by you being able to control that corner, see who comes out of it, and shoot first before they are able to even get an opportunity to do that.
You can drop from the Winston, diving right onto Widow, but Dowling was right there on the Orisa just to make sure that that monkey got peppered, giving Kingdom even more space to work. And Thor, oh, he's in a bit of a rough spot. Jub gonna finish him off with that shotgun blast from Torb. That's a Discord orb onto that Reaper. That could have been scary had Kingdom Hearts taken the shot, but it doesn't matter. Jussie is there to clean up. And I think Graceland has to be careful here because they're kind of going in 2-on-6.
Yeah, they definitely have to stop their stagger that they're creating for themselves and group up together if they're going to stand a chance against this comp.
Yeah, they finally slowed down a little bit, but it looks like Jub's actually under the train with them where they were initially trying to hide. And he's got the Molten Core ready, and he's going to split them up as they were deciding whether or not they wanted to go up the train. And it's going to separate, of course, these two. There goes Switch, as he wasn't anywhere near the tank line because of that Molten Core. And that's going to be a cleanup.
Yeah. So I believe they really have to go shield heavy against this comp rather than. It looks like an EMP coming out as well. Doesn't really do much. Thor does get a pick on Blazon, so they are down one. So it might be momentum for them to push forward. They have a Bastion as well, so he's going to try and set up, see if he can do any damage with his Bastion.
Thor's starting to find some hooks, though. He's starting to get into his groove. He did take down the Zenyatta on our side earlier, and Throton, the Winston, taking down Widowmaker. So they do manage to get 4 kills.
Yeah, so that'll definitely allow them to push a lot further into this first point. I think the St. Clair got a little bit too jumpy, a little bit too forward, and Graceland was able to take advantage of that. So we'll see if they want to change anything up on the side of St. Clair. Bastion does get taken out immediately, so that's definitely going to hurt their push and progress on this point.
Okay, but Blazon's got to be careful, though. The Lucio does see him. If the rest of his team follow up, it could be scary, but he does manage to 1v1 the back line. And the rest of the Saints are here to follow it up, taunting poor Jussie, not giving him the revive.
I don't think it was worth it, in his opinion.
Oh god, there's a Bastion inside of that corridor. Jub almost face tanks that, but luckily getting out of there with that rewind. And once again, finds Bastion as he tries to retreat from the cave, and now he's just right in perfect position to try and harass the Graceland squad from behind. The Pulse Bomb did hit its mark, didn't stick, but it did do the damage. And Saints able to hold. They're taking the offensive approach again, like right under the train. Oh no, Reinhardt's actually trapped underneath here.
Caught out underneath here.
This is like essentially a stagger in itself because he's nowhere near the rest of his squad who need that shield. In a sense, letting him live here was a rather wise move with the rest of the Saints all the way up near the trains. The Primal Rachel on the point does take down Blazin. Well played is in the back line as Mercy. Battle Mercy, let's go. And this is exactly what I want to see. Graceland
Yeah, so
taking advantage of that overextension.
Yeah, so the Moira Orb definitely did a lot of damage in that fight. Mercy, going Battle Mercy was nowhere near her team, unable to heal. And we'll see if they can hold this first point.
Okay, Jesse, they're the contest. The EMP does get a ton of the Graceland squad, and Jub Jub does land the Pulse Bomb and cleans up the fight. Time's up right at the doorway of the first point.
Yeah, so they did make some progress. They almost got to the first point. It was a tough way there. Bastion kept getting picked by the Sombra. So they did pull out a McCree at the very end to try and counter it. But unfortunately, it was a little too late, and they were unable to get more than 83 meters. I think it's 86 meters to the first point, but they made some decent progress. See if St. Clair can figure out a way to get past this comp that they're pulling off. So.
Let's take a look here. What is the option? As of right now, it's just looking like a pretty standard 2-2-2 coming out here for the Saints.
So it's looking a little bit more like what they're actually going to play with Jussie and JoJo DPS, Kingdom Heart and Blazin on the healers, downloading on his signature Lucio, and well played on the off-tank Winston. So you should be expecting a little more of this coming up for the playoffs.
And then for those who may have not seen like one of our Saints matches in a while there, Kingdom Hearts is one of the subs. So he's just been subbing in for a little while onto the support role, which in turn moved Jussie up into DPS. And Blazin moved over to off tank so that Well Played can make his return from last semester as the main tank here. So like you were saying, this is essentially what like a super standard comp looks for them. Now, where did GU end up setting up? Are they on top too? Oh, they got the Bastion out again too. How do they deal with the Bastion? Will make or break this for the Saints.
Yeah,
Oh, they also have a Torb on the other side too. Dang. Well Played actually dove on instantly. Let's see if we can get an angle of this. And he is just melting through the backline as Blazin is also right there. A nice dive there from the Saints squad. The Discord Orb onto that Zarya is going to melt her down slowly but surely. Dowling stealing that double kill there from Well Played.
Yeah, so the Discord Orb, along with the Winston dive, and the I believe Tracer dive as well, effectively killed the Bastion immediately. And when you kill that Bastion, it's the main source of damage in this comp.
This Bastion has cojones of steel, and he is still living. He walked out into the middle of the street and lived. What a baller.
So Zenyatta pushed up a little bit too far. Bastion looks like he's going to drop down with his Mercy. So he can pick up anything, but they're just trying to avoid members of the same side of there. Bastion is trying to rush the point.
Yeah, Jussie's doing what he does best, and it just absolutely harassing that back line. Took down the Mercy. It's probably going to be soon for the Bastion. There is the Pulse Bomb. Finishes off right through the Moira ultimate, and that is going to do it.
So it's a convincing win by St. Clair, to say the least. But, you know, it's a good end to the season. A couple of victories in their pocket. They can say, you know what, we're going to playoffs confident.
Well, let's go GU too.
So we actually have player of the game by GU.
Oh, what happens here? So, oh, the Orb was doing work in the back line as he was harassing Dowling.
Yeah. So the Orb actually
love it. Nicely done. But solid showing there for the Saints. Let's see.
Yeah, so solid end to the season, the regular season for the Saints. And they had a couple season was very up and down. We'll say that. A couple of
Yeah,
really close games.
That's probably an
couple
accurate
of
way of
dominating
saying it.
games. A couple of games early in the season where they got dominated, but they had a little run at the end here. A bunch of victories, all lined up in a row for them nicely last couple days. So fortunately, they are in the running for playoffs. Don't know if they'll be in yet.